Note, this is an updated version, not sent to the President of the United States of America. Message 2. The President of the United States of America. AI analyzed and enhanced with Copilot Gemini XAI ChatGPT. Dear Sir, I still see this Syrian with one eye closed, semi-seriously. Turks could join that T4 place if they play nice, leaving Kurds be, if ever, and this is as far as they can go. But if them Turks agree on, de jure, with U.S. co-inhabiting T4, then Israel gets the Akkar Pass, Mount Hermon, expanded sovereignty over beyond Golan Heights and a demilitarized southern Syria, further securing Arab Druze rights and their choice to join, Tel Aviv to better protect and feed their families and sect, a condition that can benefit Jordan as well. Turkish populist appeal towards the Islamic world, Western, yet independent Turk and universal Muslim, has to stop there, where possible and at least in this instance. I insist with respect to Kurdish and other populations suffered much under this post-Hitlerist lash, yet not in favor of seeing the Erdogan Ascaris in their towns throwing the card of peace after the one-sided, potentially suicidal, withdrawal of the PKK, which again has an impact on nation first. Second religion trait that suffers greatly since the rise of radical Islam most probably, and more openly after 1978 all over the Middle East and the Maghreb. The entire process apparently does not differ on how Turkiye took over Alexandria Iskenderun back in the early 20th century. Further, should they be in need of it, they could push the West through Greece. The antithesis between them is not only the Aegean Eastern, but the Northeast Med all the way to Italy, that to diffuse their potential failure to this project, or simply save it in return, especially if an EMEA 1996 incident, probably around Cyprus or south of Crete, occurs anyhow, to force the leading Western power USA intervene mostly to provide Turkiye with what they seek, mostly high-tech military hardware, and secure trade routes, along with the everlasting immigration theme. Nobody, not even their children and grandchildren, seem to remember this fear before this extremist Islamic terror in Turkiye and elsewhere. The marketing, based on a green book soberly acquitted by the founder of modern secular Turkiye himself, Mr. Kemal Mustafa Ataturk, when the new Turks slaughtered and raped or dragged them to their own death through long marches millions of Christian Orthodox Greek-speaking or Armenian Turkish citizens. Which points to the possible explanation someone was eager to catch up with time and timing on how events were running between 1890 and 1923, with the closure of this local theater, the Greek Minor Asian catastrophe, the Pontic and Armenian genocides of civilians, women, elder and children, well-coordinated crimes for all to see, non-involved, or not able to counter this evil, even eulogizing the terror, and inspiring the very Nazi regime in Germany to further experiment on this joyful sadism of senses. The 1955 massacres, rapes and confiscations, vandalism of tombs in Istanbul using and Kurds against the Greek minority, further extending the policy of Yeni-Surism, erasing self-sustaining long-term previously indigenous populations, which makes it in turn easier, and because of the plain Greek junta stupidity, to take over half of Cyprus with Kissinger's indirect blessings, to make these Grecophones kill their big idea for themselves with their own hands, after savaging the people they once gave oath to protect to God and King. I still dare to envision an Israel next to Israel to this very hour, despite intellectual hardships and elitist meddling by Arab, Islamic, and Western cycles. And that, sir, is the Islamic Republic of Southern Kurdistan. The United States should have access and control of the East Med Syriac ports, which means, de jure, Russia will have to accept this as a military defeat containing the common radical Islamic threat. Then them Rus secondarily compare to their Christian Orthodox, yet imperialistic prestige and nostalgic unrealized ego, well bruised by their default in the Ukrainian war, irrespective if they gonna win this one or lose in this ever-dawning new era of ours. Yet, will Kremlin ever suspend this mindless act to learn from their own Romanov demise, or dig more in their nightmares they prepared for themselves, and a potential nuclear imbalance boosted by Red China and Red Korea, so we can share like it or not, and in nuclear horror unless they render in 1979 Iran on atomic steroids? No direct contact between these two Turkiye and Israel. It may be sensed as if like Iran with Western death smile, an easy in to Salon's Tehran itself, can only dream of praying over the Armageddon field, and in all grand intertwined safety further complicating U.S. stance between a trusted friend and a NATO ally. Mr. Shara of Syria stated, Israel occupied the Golan Heights in order to protect Israel, and now they are imposing conditions in the south of Syria in order to protect the Golan Heights. So after a few years, maybe they will occupy the center of Syria in order to protect the south of Syria. They will reach Munich on that pathway, he added. I further repeat, correct Mr. Shara and add upon his remark. Real Syria has to be a friendly neighbor and commercial partner to Israel. Israel will not seek any territories which historically never belonged to them. Demilitarizing southern Syria implies Israeli protection should dangers arise from the Aryan East. Keeping the Akkar Pass to protect and organize Lebanese armed forces gone rid of any external force like Hezbollah that does not subdue but stabilizes Lebanon. In advantage of Israel and Lebanon while offering the chance unity and self-determination to all the Lebanese people, Christians and Muslims, alike expelling Hezbollah from the Lebanese political and military scenery. Ending this farce as it began to the once Paris of the Middle East over 40 years ago, destroying national infrastructures and families indistinguishably. So whoever wrote SKYPE agreement long time ago, but in relation to the day after al-Assad would be overthrown, and a new king is expecting recognition by East and West. Perhaps SKYPE was correct on this one, but this time it will be in American terms, and for the sake of a more prominent peace with respect to official Syrian independence and leaders democratically elected. Assuming the person we all see leading this has a say, and a doing setting things right, and be selected in that free form of choosing. And that could mean the beginning of the end of the small-time Islamic State after the global cause Al-Qaeda launched over 25 years ago has failed tactically, giving chances to this new generation of opportunists announcing and denouncing this fallen vision, dooming a great religion as Islam is to their eyes, and to conservative/multicultural ours no doubt, to create their own factions taking new media and technology, along with drug and human trafficking. And round it goes. Thank you. May God save the United States of America.